Welcome to our journey through ancient history. Today we explore one of the most famous biblical stories of all time, the Battle of Jericho, when the mighty walls came tumbling down. This story has captured imaginations for centuries, not only as a powerful tale of faith and resilience, but also as a fascinating historical and archaeological mystery. In the ancient land of Canaan, nestled between the Jordan River and the Dead Sea, lies the city of Jericho, one of the world's oldest inhabited cities. Known as the City of Palms, Jericho was a vital oasis in the arid landscape. Around 1400 BCE, this walled city became the scene of a monumental battle led by the Israelites under Joshua's command. The Battle of Jericho is famously recounted in the Old Testament as a divine victory for the Israelites, with God commanding Joshua to lead his people to conquer the city. But how did these walls, so formidable and imposing, truly come crashing down? To understand Jericho's significance, we must look at the Israelites' journey. After Moses led them out of Egypt, the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years. Upon Moses' death, Joshua took up leadership, guiding them into the promised land, Canaan. But to claim this land, they first had to conquer Jericho. Jericho wasn't just a random target. It was a strategic and fortified city with thick walls built for defense. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence suggesting Jericho's walls were unique. Constructed with stone at the base and mud brick above, they stood high, presenting an intimidating barrier. The book of Joshua describes a divine strategy. Rather than a traditional siege, Joshua was instructed by God to march around the city once a day for 6 days, with priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant and blowing ram's horns. The people were to remain silent, awaiting the right moment. Imagine the tension and confusion this display must have sparked in the minds of Jericho's residents. 7 priests, 7 trumpets, 7 days. The symbolism of 7 is a significant theme here, representing completeness and divine power. On the 7th day, the Israelites marched around the city 7 times. This time, the silence broke. The priests blew their horns and Joshua commanded his people to shout. What followed is the event that gives this story its timeless awe. As the Israelites shouted, the walls of Jericho crumbled, allowing them to storm the city. Jericho was conquered, and the Israelites secured their foothold in Canaan. But what could have caused these formidable walls to fall in such a manner? Biblical stories often spark intense debate, and Jericho's walls are no exception. Could a shout truly bring down a fortified city? Let's explore some theories. In the 20th century, British archaeologist John Garstang excavated Jericho and found a collapsed wall layer he dated to around 1400 BCE, aligning with the biblical account. Decades later, Kathleen Kenyon conducted further excavations, dating the wall's destruction to around 1550 BCE. This sparked a debate that continues today, with scholars divided on whether the biblical Jericho aligns with archaeological findings. Some theories suggest an earthquake could have caused the wall's collapse. Jericho lies on a fault line, and seismic activity in this region is plausible. An earthquake would explain the sudden collapse, aligning with the biblical timing of the Israelites' arrival. Beyond history and science, Jericho's fall holds profound cultural significance. To the Israelites, it wasn't just a victory, it was a testament to their faith and obedience to God's commands. The story serves as a powerful narrative of overcoming impossible odds, with divine support transforming vulnerability into strength. In Christian, Jewish, and Islamic traditions, the fall of Jericho is a symbol of faith overcoming obstacles. The city's walls represent any barrier standing between people and their destiny, and Jericho's fall reassures believers that no wall is unbreakable if they trust and persevere. Jericho, often called the City of Palms, lies nestled in the heart of Canaan, the land promised to the Israelites. With its prime location near the Jordan River, Jericho served as a crucial gateway for those traveling into the region. Its high, fortified walls kept its people safe, and its strategic importance made it a target. But who were the Israelites, and why was Jericho such a critical part of their story? Let's rewind. After the Israelites fled from slavery in Egypt, they wandered the desert under Moses' leadership for 40 years. When Moses passed, Joshua, his devoted assistant, became their leader. Now, with the promised land in sight, Joshua led the Israelites across the Jordan River. a miraculous crossing in itself. But even as they entered Canaan, Jericho's imposing walls stood in their way, blocking their entry. Jericho was no ordinary city. Archaeologists believe its walls were about 15 feet high and 6 feet thick, an impressive defense that discouraged even the most determined armies. But Joshua had something no other general had: divine guidance. In the book of Joshua, God gave Joshua a plan that was both strange and symbolic. Instead of charging the city, Joshua was instructed to organize a different kind of siege, a spiritual one. For 6 days, the Israelites marched around Jericho once a day in silence, with only the sound of ram's horns breaking the stillness. Priests carried the Ark of the Covenant, a powerful symbol of God's presence among his people. But on the 7th day, the ritual changed. On the 7th day, Joshua's army marched around Jericho not once, but 7 times. At the final lap, Joshua gave the signal, and the priests blew their trumpets with a resounding blast. With one great shout, the people raised their voices in a powerful cry, and, like an act of divine will, the walls of Jericho crumbled, tumbling down around the city and allowing the Israelites to enter. This was no ordinary victory. It was a testament to their faith and obedience. But what really caused these walls to fall? Can a shout and a blast of trumpets truly bring down a city's defenses? Centuries after the story was written, archaeologists turned to Jericho, determined to uncover the truth. In the early 1900s, British archaeologist John Garstang conducted one of the first excavations, uncovering layers of ruins that hinted at destruction. Garstang's findings suggested the city had been violently destroyed around 1400 BCE, which matched the biblical timeline. Then came the work of Kathleen Kenyon, a British archaeologist who excavated Jericho in the 1950s. Kenyon's findings, however, complicated the picture. She suggested that the wall's destruction occurred around 1550 BCE, about 150 years before Joshua and the Israelites would have arrived. This left scholars with a challenging puzzle. Could there have been multiple destructions, or were these findings simply part of the city's long, complex history? Another theory points to the location of Jericho itself. The city lies on a tectonic fault line, meaning earthquakes could have been a natural hazard in the area. Some historians propose that an earthquake might have coincided with the Israelites' attack, weakening the walls just as the Israelites shouted and blew their trumpets. Could it be that faith and nature aligned in this pivotal moment? Some scientists have also explored whether the sound waves from the trumpets and shouts could have played a role. Though unlikely, the theory holds a poetic appeal. The idea that collective energy and resonance could shatter a city's defenses speaks to the power of unity and the strength of belief. Whether we see Jericho's fall as a miracle, a historical event, or a powerful metaphor, it holds a central place in many religious traditions. For the Israelites, Jericho's walls were not just physical barriers, but obstacles on their spiritual path. The victory at Jericho demonstrated that faith and obedience to God's command could overcome the impossible. The story resonates in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions, symbolizing the triumph of good over evil, faith over fear. Jericho's fall has inspired songs, art, and literature. The story reminds believers that walls, both physical and spiritual, can come down if they hold steadfast in their faith. But Jericho's legacy isn't confined to religious symbolism. For historians and archaeologists, it's a reminder of the mysteries ancient cities still hold. Jericho stands as one of the oldest continually inhabited cities, a place where history, legend, and faith intersect. The mysteries of Jericho's walls are an invitation to explore not just the past, but the timeless questions of belief and resilience. Modern Jericho is a serene, palm-filled town with a vibrant community. Far removed from its ancient history of walls and battles, Jericho is a peaceful oasis known for its agriculture and cultural heritage. But the story of the Battle of Jericho lives on, a timeless reminder that no wall is truly unbreakable. The echoes of trumpets and shouts from thousands of years ago may still linger in the sands around Jericho as a symbol of enduring faith, mystery, and hope. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the ancient past. If you enjoyed today's exploration of the Battle of Jericho, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think brought down the walls of Jericho? Faith, an earthquake, or perhaps both? Join us next time as we uncover more ancient mysteries. Until then, keep exploring the powerful stories that shape our world.